Morning. This is the RC Car Podcast. I got the domain and all, so cheers to that. And cheers to you guys for showing up and watching this. I'm going to try to keep this one short. I got to go to work, and this is late. I told you guys this was going to come out a couple days ago. And like everything else that it seems to be in the past in my life, school assignments and such, always behind. Always turning my paperwork in late. So I'm trying to change that. Actually, not trying. I am changing that. Just apparently not quite yet. So I'm not going to be cutting frames, and this is just going to be shooting from the hip. I do have a few things I want to talk about. One, let's talk about some cars I'm going to be getting or are in the process of looking at to purchase or have purchased. And this is my Hot Wheel room. So forgive some of the mess that you might see, rearranging some stuff, but I'm a collector and I'm into RC cars, so I decided to kind of make this room just kind of a display room. I don't really tinker with anything here. I just display, and we do podcasts and we hang out. I got a couch and my two dogs are over here. And so welcome. This is introductory. Sometimes I go a little bit, we'll go down some rabbit trails and we'll lose a little thought process along the way about like what we were talking about. I'm going to try to keep that to a bare minimum, all right? So basically, I'm going to just focus this couple of minutes on introduction, and let's talk about a few of these RC, let's say RC car enthusiasts who happen to be on YouTube. I'm not going to call them YouTubers, but sometimes we all want to put a channel. We want to put some stuff out there. So here's some two guys that you obviously know. If you're in this realm of watching YouTube videos, you guys know these guys. Harley Designs. That dude's really like legit. That guy's super, super creative. I was watching him do a review on the Axial CJ7 that just came out. And he did some pros and cons. Really, really good review. Go check that out. And Scale Builders Guild, he was also doing a review on the Axial CJ7, the new one that just came out with the gray body and the optional red body. And it was really, really good because I was considering getting that. Right now, Horizon Hobbies has a deal on the SCX 10.3 with the orange Wrangler body, which is really cool. It comes with a figurine inside with the hat, and it's got portal axles on that one. The new CJ7 has straight axles. So apparently Harley's Designs and Scale Builders Guild was really, really stoked about it having a straight axle design. Give me your thought and opinion on that. I have TRX4 that has a portal design axles. My little Axial SCX24 has upgraded portal axles. The FMS that I have has got the portal axles on it. So I don't think I have any straight axle crawlers. So what are your thoughts on that? I wonder if the Axial 18, the Capra 18, does that have straight axle? See, that's the Capra right there. That one has a portal axle. So I'm gonna assume that the Axial Capra 18, UTB 18, that's what they call it. That has also the portal axles. So those two guys are awesome, Harley Designs and Scale Builders Guild. And then At Ease, this guy, he had about 700 subscribers, so he's probably a smaller channel. At Ease, EASE, RC. He did a review on the Axial CJ7. He did like the golden wing. I guess he got the sticker kit and he put gold rims on there, bead locks, and it looked pretty. It looked beefy. It looked really, really nice. So go check him out if you want. And then Crazy for KV's RC. He was doing this dude's into it, man. He's got a small little room, but he's got projects, and you can tell he does a lot of kit builds. He was doing something on the Vanquish VRD Carbon, the carbon frame rails and all that. He was getting into it, so I just watched a bit of it. Much props. I had to do this. I just decided to do my podcast. So those are some of the channels. Honorable mention, hey, go check out Josie Wilds, all right? This cat, he's different than all the rest that you'll see. He'll shoot straight from the heart, and he's putting more and more content. And dude just went from like 230, 240, 250 subscribers. I think it's like 270, 280. Let's get him to 300 real quick, man. Shouts out to Josie Wilds. Like, I guess his name is right after the Josie Wales, right? Like, shoot him up. So go shoot him up, kid. Keep at it, man. Keep putting out the content. I'm digging it. Especially he had go check it out. He's got like, I think, a shorts with the geyser, Yosemite geyser, Old Faithful. Bitchin', man. I've never been there. It was really, really cool. So shouts out to Josie for that. And yeah, so here's the podcast. I don't have anybody to talk with. I just had to get something introduction, right? Like push the thing. I have a quick discussion, and we'll go into this in maybe another podcast, but I have this EXB build, this Outcast from ARRMA. It's 5th scale. It's massive. And so I already have a motor, and I have an ESC. I got the Max 5, the XLX2, that's what it is, with the Mamba XLX2 with the big green can. I think it's 1100 kV. It's huge motor. The whole setup, they had it on sale on Horizon, like $500. So I bought that last year. I have that. I just bought some brand new batteries. I got one of these, which is a 4S. It's a Basher battery, like a 120C. And this will fit in that truck. I'm gonna have to buy another one, obviously. You gotta get the same size rating. But I just got that. And then I was bummed out, not to lose focus on that, but I was looking at getting some 3S's, because not so much to run that on 6, but some of the other cars, I just got a Big Rock, and I have other cars like the DBX Pro that runs on 3S, and the Vendetta, it runs on 3S, and a lot of my batteries don't have IC5 connectors, and so it's a bunch, you have to like do conversions, and some of the batteries just don't fit, like some of the Gens Aces I have. So I got 2 of these, and I ordered them on Horizon, and they were on a deal, I guess, like you get 2 for like $150, $160, but they're not the Gen 2. For whatever reason, I thought these were the Gen 2. So big mistake on my part. Hey, if you're gonna go look at them, just make sure it says G2 on them. You know, like, that's a huge thing, I think. If you're gonna pay for the money, and they're about the same price, maybe a few bucks more, but these just have a little bit added benefit of the discharge rate and just some of the technology they did with the Generation 2. So I'm not gonna return these to Horizon. I'm just gonna get another one of these for sale, and this will also go for the build. So my point back to the Outcast was, you know, all the money going into it, and then I start to see some of the reviews, and it's just such a heavy truck. And when you think about bashing, I think about my XRT, lightweight, everything's plastic. It's kind of like the XRT to me is like a big kid, kind of soft, can bounce into stuff. Doesn't ever, like when he gets hurt, he just heals right away. Like older, bigger, tougher people, right? Hit stuff, fall down, you go boom, it hurts. So like the bigger the truck, the bigger it hurts, especially on the wallet, right? Like I think these lighter weight, plastic, polycarbonate type construction, architecture, if you will, on the RC cars is it's just better. I get it for bashing. You get the Vitavon, and you go M2C, and you got all this stuff that these people buy. I think there are certain parts that are advantageous, and there's certain parts that are just bling because it looks freaking cool and you want to make it all blinged out. But when you go put them out there in the real world, some of these parts are going to cause either the other parts like, transmission cases and or like diff cases and stuff to explode, or whole frames to break. There's always a consequence when you strengthen one and not strengthen the other. So, and there's a point of pliability too, right? Plastic bends and metal, they both bend, but plastic tends to go back to its original state. Metals tends to stay where it's at unless you pound it out. And then at that point, it's pretty much toast. So that's where I'm at right now. And they have a limitless until the 12th is on the sale. Again, going back to Horizon Hobbies, they got a sale on the road car, the one that looks like the Indy car. God, all this is, it's not the infraction, it's not the felony, it's the other one, it's the long one. And I'm thinking about getting that because it's a version 2, it's just a roller, and I could put the same motor and the ESC and all the stuff that pretty much, I have a perfect pass 10th scale servo that I was going to put in the XRT, and it's just going to be becoming a problem. I could put that in that car. That's a full build right there. That'd be 110, 120, 130 mile an hour car, 140 mile an hour car. Simple, like a little bit more aero to it, just work on some of those things. That car's a 140 mile an hour car with that motor and that ESC. So that could be something I'm all into. I like every facet of the RC experience. I just think I'm trying to hone myself into a project that I can feel passionate about, that's not going to take a ton of my time, and then I can utilize the parts that I already have to the best that I have. Like that axial capper, I have never even opened it. I know once I open it, I'm going to want to put the brass and all the goodies on it, right? So I'm just going to keep it in the box. I have a ton of RCs already that I can fix or build, and so that's kind of where I'm taking my next stage into the RC. And there's a caveat to that, is that I should have been at work already, and I'm not, because I'm so passionate about RC. I'm like, I just want to throw the podcast video down real quick, 5 minutes. This is probably 10, 15 already. A lot of waffle. But that's kind of what I got going on. So we got the EXB build, which, man, I need to get a servo for it. That's the only thing I'm lacking really for it. I have everything else. I have a brand new radio and receiver that I'll share with you on the next podcast. And so we're ready to go with that. It's just, there's so many deals right now, and I know there's always deals. And that's where it gets down to. I'm like an RC addict, and I'm trying to pick and choose what's going to benefit me in the long run, or even in the short run. Like right now, if I want to go play with an RC for 5 or 10 minutes, which one do I grab to get that itch? Or which one do I put in my car to go and maybe play at work or after work or on a lunch break or do some filming? So this is kind of like this is kind of where I'm always in a state of like, what do I do? Or just abandon and don't touch any of my RC cars, go handle my thing, and then when time permits or comes around, I can get in at an RC car and playing around or building. So, all right, well, there you go. First edition of the podcast, all the stuff that I'm thinking about and working with, and I appreciate you joining. Please subscribe and like. I promise I'll refine this. I will. I'll tune this thing in. Want to give some shots out to the people, and that's what I'm going to do. Every episode, I'll just name, let's see, what did we do? 4 names right here, 5, including Josie. We'll do 5 names. We'll do 4 plus like a shout out, and then we'll do that every episode. Just because there's a lot of content creators, a lot of people out there that are just, they just want a little push. Like, hey, they get a couple of subscribers and they're pumped, and maybe they'll go buy a different car, or maybe they'll do an added upgrade on the car. All that propels the community, whether it be the people who are making these things, or the people who are making aftermarket parts, or the people, hey, listen, man, there's people out there who are painting bodies. There are people out there that work on these things, that make money working on the RC cars. I think that part of the community is not being exploited enough, and I mean exploited in a good way, where people who work on these things, you don't have to take it to a hobby store. The problem is who do you take it to that you trust that's not going to rip you off, that can be accountable? And that's why a lot of people don't know how to work on these things. Their kid breaks the car, they take it to the hobby store, or they take it to themselves. They don't know what they're doing. Last night, RC Visions, dude's doing a full trade-in on his Slash 4x4. He, or might have even been a two-wheel drive. He traded in the brushed motor and got the brushless system, and then he upgraded to the X01, which is their road race car. And they have like a super awesome CVD set that's all sealed and high duty, like heavy duty with steel and all that. And he upgraded that. That's an upgrade for the Slash. And he was doing that on their glass counter at their RC store, which was, it was cool. It was cool that they were doing it and allowing him to do it. It was almost closing time, and they finished it up and they got it going. I guess my point is that some RC stores won't allow you to do that, and they'll want you to just drop off their car and then they charge you to fix it. There's some guys out there that are buying used RC cars and parting things out. I mean, I've seen, there's a plethora, and there's some good guys out there and there's some bags out there. So tread lightly, get into RC. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Like I said, Harley Designs, Scale Builders Guild, at Ease RC, Crazy for KVs, and Josie Wilds. 31555 or something like that. All right, you guys. Aloha. Get after it. Maybe I'll do another podcast this afternoon, this evening. No, I'm not. I'm going to Bill Burr and Dean Del Rey and on Vine Street down in Hollywood tonight. Bill Burr, the comedian, he's playing with Dean Del Rey. They're actually going to play drums and music too as well. It's like it's a tribute to a rock and roller. I forgot which one it is, but it's, I think, at the Palladium or Avalon. It's at the Avalon. There you go, on Vine Street. All right, so I'm not doing a podcast tonight, but tomorrow I'll do one because I will be receiving the Slash Ultimate in the mail today, and they charged me 600 and some odd bucks, and I can get it at Tony's RC over there in Baldwin Park for about $45 cheaper, all said and done with taxes. So just like Josie Wild said, there are deals out there. You just got to keep your eyes open because he's got a brand new Sentin, I think it was, or something like that, and it's badass. It's cool. He got it for $100. All right, guys. Peace out. Love, peace, hair grease, RC, and go kiss your mom, pet your dog.